Good morning. I'm Jason Stanton. I serve First Lutheran in Onalaska as senior pastor, and this is my morning musing for Friday, September 25th. I've been thinking about musing about baseball for the last few days. Um, in my household, we've got a Twins fan, that's me, a Cubs fan, that's my son. He had a teacher. I feel like I have to explain that. He had a teacher, I think it was in first grade. She's from Chicago, loves her Cubs. That's when the Cubs won the World Series, so he kind of caught the fever. Um, he might be among a very small number of people who've ever caught Cubs fever because they won. I can say that confidently because I grew up in Northern Illinois and till I was 10, and I tried to be a Cubs fan. It just never really stuck. I don't dislike them. I just, they lose a lot. But they're good again this year. They're in first place. My Twins are in first place. And even the Brewers, who we get on TV every night, they're really fun to watch and competitive too. So I've been thinking a lot about baseball. It's that time of year. We're entering into October when the postseason happens and all that. And, although baseball's not my favorite sport, either to play or to watch, there is something deeper about baseball, I feel like, than many of the other sports that a lot of us watch. There's something poetic about baseball and the whole idea of trying to navigate the base paths all in an effort to get home. I actually looked up some baseball poetry in preparation for this musing and had a lot of fun. I didn't find a quote that I especially wanted to lift up, but if you're a poetry person, there's some pretty good baseball poetry, and it's not all Casey at the bat, although that is the most famous one, I think. When I played baseball, I remember thinking, it is handy to be really fast. It is handy to be able to throw really hard. Obviously, hitting is essential. But there's also all the different things you have to be aware of, like how many outs are there? Are there people on base? What are we trying to accomplish with this at bat? Are we just trying to advance a runner, or are we just swinging away? And all of it gets wrapped up in a term that I just love. And it's actually what I want this musing to be centered around. And that is this idea of situational awareness. Baseball happens, lots of pauses in between the action. A baseball being thrown as hard as somebody can and somebody else trying to make contact with it. But in the meantime, a lot of things can happen. Maybe somebody's trying to steal a base. Outfielders are perhaps in a shift in one way or the other based on what they think the batter is going to do with this particular pitch. What inning is it? Is it late in the game or early? Because that can dictate what the strategy might be for this pitch or this at bat. Situational awareness with every pitch, whether there's a full count or not. Every pitch has its own situation around it. And people have to make decisions and choices in that moment. Do I go for the extra base? Do I swing no matter what? Do I hit the cutoff man, or do I try to throw him out at home? All these kinds of choices that you make in the moment are rooted in this whole situational awareness. And I've been thinking about how that requires not only to be in the moment, but also that awareness that one has as you are apart from the moment. Being able to see the big picture while being in the picture. And that's a real life skill. As a parent, I think that's the hardest time and relationship I have, that I have to figure out what is the situation from from a distance, while also being in the situation of trying to teach a 5th grader, or sit with a 10th grader, or seeing how this moment plays into a lifetime. But there's also situational awareness with a friend, as you remember back to all the other situations this person's been a part of. With a spouse, what is this moment calling for within the big picture of the vows one makes? As a citizen, Maybe that's how I've been thinking about situational awareness more than anything. Where are we right now as a society? What is required of me? What does this situation mean for my behavior, the posts I make on social media, the things I say in a sermon? Situational awareness requires us to know what's happening so that we know what to say or do next with this or that person. And so I pray today that each of us is granted an extra portion of situational awareness.